Well, let's head to Nigeria now, where the government has released the full list of the 27 industries set to receive pioneer status incentives for prospective investors. Now, some of the benefits include a tax relief, mainly corporate income tax, mining and processing of coal, processing and preservation of meat and poultry, and processing of cocoa are on the list. Now, as are manufacturers of leather footwear, luggage, and handbags. Well, CGTN's Deji Badmus now joins us with more insight into this. Deji, as always, welcome to the show. Now, start by telling us what exactly will be the perks that will see these 27 industries receive under this new pioneer status incentive.
Well, Uche, the basic perks, of course, are the tax breaks that these industries will be enjoying from the federal government of Nigeria, and talking about corporate tax, of course, and of course the income tax, as you have been reporting there. So these are the basic ones that they will be enjoying, and of course quite massive, to be candid, because before now, a lot of some of these businesses who had actually applied for a very long time and had actually been seeking these tax breaks had actually been complaining that one of the reasons why investors, for instance, are not coming and people are not pouring in is just because of you know, these tax breaks that are not there. So now they have the tax breaks. The whole idea is that investors will come in now, and other than that, this whole process will also encourage indigenous manufacturing as well. So basically they will be enjoying those tax breaks in corporate tax and as well as income tax, which of course are under the purview of the federal government.
Now, Deji, most agree that this is a positive development for the country, but some analysts do raise some concerns. They say the government needs to complement this with investment-friendly policies and regulations as well. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, you're absolutely correct. Everybody has been saying that, and of course the government too has been doing some listening and actually has been doing something. I'll give you a number of examples. We all know that the president, the acting president, some time ago, sometime in May or so, actually signed at least 3 executive orders now on the ease of doing business in this country. Now, those are policies aimed at, aimed at making sure that businesses operate in this country without hindrance. For instance, you talk about registering business companies in this country. It has always been a difficult process. That executive order now takes care of that. So you have those policies that the government has actually rolled out, even in terms of visa policies now. And of course, regulations put in place, compelling, for instance, ministries, departments, and agencies to remove all the bureaucratic bottlenecks you have in the process of application and dealing with contracts or approving contracts and all of that. So it would appear the government has actually followed up with these policies and regulations aimed at opening the business space, easing the process of doing business in this country. We're all waiting to see the results. That's what I would just say.
And actually, Deji, what I was going to ask you next is, have we seen any signs in terms of the results of some of these activities from government so far?
Well, at least we're beginning to see some signs. Let's talk about the visa policy, for instance. Now it is... You can actually, if you were coming into this country for purposes of tourism or business, you can actually get your visa in 48 hours. It was never the case before, and people have actually tried it, and it's actually working. As a matter of fact, I spoke to a group of foreign investors who came in sometime last week, and they told me that they were pleasantly surprised that they were able to process their visas within 48 hours, as the government promised. So that at least we can see is working. Do not also forget that, well, when sometime in February this year, actually, the government set up what it calls the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council. That council actually made a lot of proposals, and the council ensured that those proposals were carried out. And part of course, the proposal was a visa policy. And for instance, the process of registering business now is improving. It was always a difficult process in this country to register a company. It could take almost like forever to register a company. Now that process has been automated. People could actually register online. And something also very important for small businesses in this country, Uche, is that the acting president of this country sometime in May also actually signed two very important bills called the Collateral Registry Act and, of course, the Credit Reporting Act as well. Now, those two acts are very important. They help small businesses. As a result of the Collateral Registry Act, now people can actually secure credit now using movable assets, unlike what we had in the past where you would need immovable assets now to secure a loan. So, for instance, people have said you could actually use your refrigerator to secure credit facilities from lenders. And then you also have the Credit Reporting Act, of course, which allows credit bureaus now to share credit information now with these lenders so that people can have credit history. If, for instance, you're going to approach a bank to get a loan, the bank will have your credit history. So that makes it easier for you to actually get a loan. So these are some of the things that the government has put in place. Of course, implementation is very key. They've all been implemented. Well, at least we've seen some kind of implementation now. But for how long is what we just have to wait and see. Whether these policies will take root and that those who are supposed to be implementing it on a daily basis will do so. We just have to wait and see. But there's no question at all that the government is serious about this.
Well, we'll certainly be watching. Many thanks, Deji, as always, for those insights. Deji Badmus joining us there in Lagos.